All right, hey, welcome. This is Eric Louvier. So I really want to get into this and really try to help you with this. And so if I were you, I would shut down distractions and I would really pay close attention to what I'm going to teach you here because I don't think every day people talk about this. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to explain this to you the best I can. And I think that if you just have patience and you go through this with me, that it could absolutely change your life. It changed my life. It's a little difficult to explain at times, but I'm going to do my best. Now, what I call it is becoming the hunted instead of the hunter. And this is when people chase you down. This is when money just comes to you. This is when clients just come to you. This is where people are saying to you, like, please take my credit card. And I know that sounds hypey, but it's true. I did a workshop in Austin, Texas, and I'll never forget. This is when I said to myself while I was on stage, wow, this actually works really well. This was many years ago. There was a guy sitting in the front, and he asked for the microphone, so I gave him the microphone. We got him the spare microphone, and he said, I just want to say that what you're talking about right now worked on me. I actually had to reach out to you several times for you to just run my credit card, and I thought it was me. And I thought you just didn't want me in the program or that I wasn't qualified to be in the program. And now that you've explained this all to me, I realized that worked on me. And I'm like, well, it wasn't really, therefore like some on purpose kind of like trickery. It was just me being authentic and abiding by these rules that I'm going to share with you to be magnetic, to be the hunted, to be, someone that others want to give money to. And there's reasons for that. And I want to explain this to you, okay? So first thing to understand is, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the magnetic you, the kind of maybe more the spiritual or the life force, the energy about the magnetism about you to attract other people into your business as clients, high ticket clients. And then later on in this presentation, I'm going to share with you more of the strategic steps. Okay, so first, just hang with me here on the magnetic side of you, the spiritual side of it. It's a little bit woo-woo, but that's not really my intention. It's more, and you'll get it as we go through this. I mean, people who are confident, not arrogant, they tend to be more magnetic, right? Someone walks in a room and they have confidence about them. Everyone in the room can feel that. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about first, and then we'll talk about strategic stuff as like your offer and all that, and how that attracts people later on in the presentation, okay? So relax, take a few deep breaths, and let this unfold, okay? All right, so I think it's important to understand that you have to have magic about you. I call it life force. There's many different words for it, but I call it life force. I think that's the best definition I've ever learned when I learned about this, right? And I've studied this and I've paid attention to this for many years. And I think it's having magic about yourself. It's having an energy about yourself. It's having, this life force, this vibration about you, this energy about you. I don't know how else to explain it. So I call it life force. And some people have it, okay? And some people don't. Like there's people that are called BIs and people that are called BNIs. BIs are batteries included people. They already have batteries included within them. They already have their own energy supply, their own life force. And then you have BNIs. These are batteries not included people. And they tend to need to get a charge off of others. And they'll take that charge if they need to. And they'll take it in manipulative ways also that are not positive, okay? So, like, keep in mind that BIs are who you want to be around. BIs are, that's who you want to be. And if you are a BI, a batteries included person, then you have more life force. You have more energy about you. And people can just feel it, all right? They don't necessarily even recognize or notice it out loud. It's just subtle, kind of under the surface, but it's enough for them to recognize it, okay? So life force can be depleted and even drained from you, in many different ways. And I mean, I could talk about this for a whole weekend, hours upon hours, about how you need to battle against this, and it's a renewing of the mind. And every day there's these attacks and spiritual attacks, and there's this resistance that you got to fight against, and you need to put on your armor and grab your weapons and go. The business is a battlefield. Life is a battlefield, and every day when you wake up in the morning, you got to take control of your thoughts, take control of your mind, or it's going to take control of you. So this can be depleted from you. Life force is drained away when negative, toxic, angry type of emotions and feelings and thoughts and discouragement and lack mentality and lack of faith and complaining constantly and dwelling and hiding and retreating within yourself, where you're sort of imploding within yourself instead of getting outside yourself, right? An unhealthy lifestyle, if you're constantly doing bad things, drugs and stuff like that, too much alcohol, too much bad food, not exercising, negative thoughts, all of that, angry, all of that can lead to a depleted and drained life force. And then all of a sudden, no one wants to do business with you. And even though you're working extremely hard and you seem to be doing all the right steps and you seem to be taking the right actions and you're pulling your hair out and you're banging your head against the wall and you're doing all this stuff and nothing's working, it could be this. So getting all this right, getting your relationships, getting your stress right, all of this, getting your mind right, getting your soul, spirit right, getting your energy right, all of that can make a significant difference in your results. Like, I've had clients for more than 20 years, and if I get a client that's complaining and negative and whining and nothing's right and everyone's out to get them and, and this and that, and then it's really hard to help that person become successful no matter what it is we do. I could be like, here's the easiest way to get traffic known to man. I'm going to send you 1 million clicks from my own email marketing list. I'm going to recommend your offer, and I can try as hard as I can to help this person make money, and they won't make a dime. And I'm like, I don't know why it's not working for you, because there's other stuff going on this planet, right? Nothing works right. Everything's broken. Everything's weird. Okay. And if you just don't believe in anything like that, then, well, there's not a lot I can do to convince you otherwise. But I believe there's other stuff going on. Okay. I believe in God, and I just believe there's a lot more going on. So life force can be manufactured within yourself by praying, worshiping, listening to worship music, meditating, getting out in nature. Again, I talked about batteries included people versus batteries not included. If you're around batteries included people, you're going to have better results. Your own personal state of mind, working out, exercising, doing what you're gifted to do. Like, this is what I'm gifted to do. I love creating content. I love innovating. I love creating. I love teaching. I love sharing. I love all of that, speaking. And so when I do that, things tend to work out really well for me because I'm using the gifts that God gave me, right? So what's your purpose? Knowing what your purpose is, knowing what your goal is, knowing what your end result is, and working towards that. You don't have to go tell people about it, but you know it yourself with the confidence that you're going to work towards achieving it, and eventually you're going to get there. So knowing what your goal is, all of that is energy, and it's magnetic. And people don't even realize why they want to give you money. They just want to give you money. They want to chase you down and give you their credit cards. And they don't even know what it was or the reason why. They just know that you're magnetic and they want to be part of that. 70% of communication, they say, is nonverbal. In fact, I looked it up on AI right before we got on here. I typed in on Claude, how much percentage of communication is nonverbal? And it was like 68%, right? Claude breaks it down and all that. I'm like, I just wanted to know what the percent was. 70% is nonverbal. That means a lot of our communication between humans is facial expressions. It's our tone, it's our inflection, it's our speed of talk, it's our body language, it's our, vibe, it's our all these other things. And that's why there's this thing you can just tell someone's not in a good mood even though they haven't said anything, right? You can tell when someone walks in the room if they're angry and you haven't even looked over there. This is all your spidey sense going off, right? Well, if this is true and 70% is nonverbal, then there's a lot of stuff going on under the surface that creates magnetism, that creates attraction to get clients hunting you down versus you hunting them down. So raise your energy, raise your vibration, get outside yourself, expand beyond your normal bubble, have more enthusiasm about you, vibrate at a higher frequency. And I want to tell you the Marilyn Monroe example, the story I heard is that Marilyn Monroe could walk down the city of New York, in front of all these people, and no one would recognize her. And that, like, maybe a reporter was interviewing her or something, and they were walking down the street, and the reporter was like, "Well, it's very interesting that no one has recognized you yet. I mean, you're one of the most famous people in the world, and yet no one has even noticed you." And she's like, "Oh, well, I could change that real quick." And then all of a sudden, everyone started noticing her real fast, and it was just because she changed the way she vibrated. She changed the way she held herself. She changed her energy. She started acting a certain way, and presto, she turned it on, and now she's a celebrity. I always found that fascinating. I heard this story. I don't know if it's true or if it was Marilyn Monroe, but the story rings true as far as the example, right? So people with stronger life force have stronger capacity to influence others around them and ultimately attract more of what they want or desire. So, in other words, the people that have this powerful life force about them, this magic about them, this life force, this vibration, this energy, they have a much stronger capacity to get what they want and for people to be attracted to them. On the other hand, you have these other people that just constantly have a black cloud around them, right? It's like the little black cloud that follows them around, raining on them. And you can tell, right? So you don't want to be the person with the black cloud. You want to be the person with the strong life force. So you can enhance your life force through a lot of different ways, like visualization and techniques and imagination is really strong for me. I'm a creator. I'm really good at my imagination. I've been using it since I could ever remember. I mean, I would imagine entire movies in my head just to try to help myself fall asleep when I was younger. I wanted to write screenplays and do the movies, producing and all that. So I would actually do the dialogue and all that in my own head. Like I love imagination. I love visualization. I visualize so much stuff, so much to the point where it's just ironic, scary, strange, weird. And it leaves me with no doubt that there's some other stuff going on here, and that our subconscious mind, our reticular activating system, is very strong. Again, I could do a whole weekend workshop just on this slide right here. But visualizing, imagining, and even Einstein talked about imagination, seeing yourself doing, having what you desire is so huge. Like, I also remember the story of Jim Carrey. He would go up to Mulholland Drive and imagine and visualize himself being famous and be a successful actor. And he wrote a check to himself for $10 million to acting services rendered or whatever. And he kept that check with him, and he would visualize this. You could go watch it on YouTube, and it came true. So this is, I think there's more going on here. And if you can buy into some of this I'm saying, it can really make a big difference for your life and attraction, okay? I think authenticity is so important for attraction. And if you're, I'm just myself right now. I'm just being who I am. I'm just talking to you from the heart, and I just show up and try to help people. And I know I have flaws, and I don't mind expressing my flaws, and I don't mind if someone rejects me. I don't mind if people are haters towards me. It doesn't matter to me because I'm just me, and I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna put myself out there. Life is short, okay? Like they say that, on average, only 10 people are going to cry at your funeral. This is a book I read. It said, on average, only 10 people will cry at your funeral. And the number one, so you live your whole life and only 10 people are going to even shed a tear. And then, the number one determining factor for how many people attend your funeral, the number one determining factor of how many people show up to your funeral is the weather. The weather. You live your whole life and the weather will dictate how many people go to your funeral. Now, if it rains at the time of your funeral, the day of your funeral, you could cut your funeral attendance in half. So half the people won't even go to your funeral because it's raining. That's how much they care about you. So why do we care so much what other people think? Go ahead and be you. Be who God created and go put yourself out there. have the vibration and just let it go beyond you. Like picture this light inside you, this white light, like in your heart. And then just now imagine that light not being contained within you, within your body, but being broadcasted out like a radio station to your room, and then to your house, and to your building, to your neighborhood, to your city, to the state, to the country, to the world, right? It's just broadcasting out from your heart. Like that's what you need to do with your authenticity and who you are in your life force, is just project it outwards, and you're going to attract who you want as clients. And so much so that it's scary how ideal your clients will become. Now, people buy confidence and certainty. That's what people buy. So if you're confident and you're certain, then people are attracted to you, and you become the hunted instead of the hunter, and people will give you money. I'm not talking about being arrogant. I'm talking about just having a confidence, like a quiet confidence about you, a certainty about you, and other people can feel that. And they don't even know they can feel it. It's just subtle. So magnetic people are those who have deployed or developed their life force energy and have learned to project it outward in a way that naturally attracts other people to them. They're like deploying their charisma, their faults, their themselves out there, and some people are going to resonate and some people are not. Okay, so your presence and your energy, these are some of the things to focus on to be more magnetic. Is magnetic people have cultivated a presence about them. They have a presence about themselves, a confident air about themselves, right? It's subtle, but it can be felt. Authenticity and self-acceptance. That's true magnetism. It comes from being genuinely yourself rather than trying to be someone you are not. Now, when you are authentic, like that cough right there is authentic because there's allergies in the air here in Austin, Texas. But when you're authentic and accept yourself fully, you naturally become more attractive to others versus projecting neediness or insecurity or desperation, because it can be felt. They can just feel it. They can tell if you're desperate or if you're being hasty about this, right? Versus just being authentic and almost like you don't care. And that detachment is, well, that's the next thing I want to talk about in a minute, but that detachment is mixed with authenticity of being who you are and just accepting yourself, flaws and all, because we are all broken people. Even billionaires are broken people. In fact, I've been around a couple billionaires, and it's amazing they can even tie their own shoes, much less be a billionaire. So it doesn't really matter when it comes to that. But people can feel if you're desperate. They can feel if you're not being authentic. They may not know why they're not buying or why they're not attracted to your stuff, but there's a reason. So the detachment and non-neediness, if you don't need others and you don't need other people's approvals, you don't need other people's validation, then that shows. So I remember speaking, on stages a few times where other speakers were there. I remember the producer having, the audience is going to fill out these feedback forms on how you did as, on stage and who did the best and, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't need anyone's validation from the audience. Now, what are they judging us on? Just how good of a speaker we are? Well, I don't consider myself to be a professional speaker. I'm here to help people, okay? Like, I'm just showing up helping people. I could give a rat's ass if anyone thinks I'm a great speaker or not. I don't need their approval. I don't need their validation or their feedback on how I did. I don't need that. I'm here to help them, right? So to me, and I've heard this from others, is like I don't need their approval on what I'm teaching either, because I know my system works. So anyone that wants to debate me on that, I don't even want to debate them. Like, I don't need to. Like, I remember one time a buddy of mine wanted me to debate someone else about live, like on camera on something. I think it was LinkedIn maybe. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Well, I don't need to show off in front of anybody. I don't need to debate someone about LinkedIn. I do it. It works for me. Like, what do I need to debate anyone for? That's just kind of entertainment purposes. That's something I don't want to participate in, so I declined. So being interested in others without really needing anything from them, this is something also, if you ever go to networking events and people act like they're interested in you and you can just tell they're really not, they're trying to sell you something, like you can kind of feel that, right? Especially after the fifth or sixth person does that to you. You're like, this is just people just trying to sell me something. They don't really care where I'm from or what I do. So many you can tell are only after something from you to get your marbles. I call it get your marbles. Like when you're a little kid, there's a book I read. I think it was Thick Face, Black Heart, something like that. That book where basically they're trying to get your marbles. I mean, it was Winning Through Intimidation. I think that might have been the book, which is basically not. The book is not about intimidating people. It's about protecting yourself from people who are trying to intimidate you or manipulate you, right? Where, anyway, I can talk about that for a long time. But basically, the marble side of it is eventually they're going to want your marbles. Eventually, they're going to show their true colors. And so, like, for example, someone's like, hey, Eric, haven't seen you in a while, buddy. You want to go to lunch and hang out? I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So I go have lunch with a colleague friend of mine. And then at lunch, the person hits me with something they want from me. I'm like, oh, it wasn't about the lunch at all. It was about this need from me, right? So I mean, they want to get your marbles at the end. So just get clear on what you want is just an absolutely monstrous step, okay? Most people don't ever know what they truly want. I mean, if you have a whiteboard, write down what you want. What is the vision you have of yourself? What is it you truly want? Get clear on that and go for it and have confidence about achieving it and working towards that. And that will make you attractive. I'll talk about intent in a minute, but confidence is attractive. Okay, this is well documented. Most females that were asked what they liked about their husband or whatever, they would say, or their significant other, they would say, well, it's confidence. I was attracted to him because of confidence, his confidence and humor. It takes confidence to be funny too, right? So not arrogance. Arrogance is ego-driven. It repels people. People don't like arrogance. Now, quiet confidence, on the other hand, is what people are really attracted to. And it comes from inner knowing rather than external validation, okay? You just know it within yourself, okay? So I remember watching a YouTube video, and the person that was doing the video explained why their YouTube channel was so incredibly successful. And this guy was like just crushing it, millions and millions of views and making tons and tons of money. And he was like, when I started the YouTube channel, I just didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't really want their opinion. I didn't want their negative talk about, oh, why are you doing a YouTube channel? He's like, I didn't want them to make fun of me. I didn't want to hear about how much of a failure I was going to be and how much of a waste of time it is. And who do I think I am? Some little teenage TikToker. And he's like, I just decided I wanted to do this for me. I wanted to have fun doing them. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the process, and I just did it, right? So he was in love with the process, not the outcome. The outcome can be so big. And Nick Saban, the famous college Hall of Fame coach, is probably the best coach to ever coach in any sport, in my opinion, basically said that when his life changed as a coach, he started getting really successful, winning national championships, was when he fell in love with the process instead of the outcome. If you're in love with the big outcome, it's too big. But when you're just in love with the steps and the process, like I just love laying out these slides and teaching it to you. This could go get 10 billion views. It could get 2. What does it really matter to me, right? It doesn't. What matters to me is I enjoy doing this. I'm learning just as much as you by just teaching this, okay? So I love it, right? So basically, he didn't go tell anyone. He just had this confidence air about him, this quiet confidence, just go ahead and do what it is he wanted to do. And the results end up becoming, absolutely monumental for him. So whenever you have an intent, so you write down who it is you want to be, what it is you want to achieve, what your goal is and all that, and you have this quiet confidence about it, and you set your intent. Like if your intent is like, I'm going to get these coaches to be clients of mine, they're going to pay me $10K or $5K or $25K, whatever your intent is. And, they're going to be like from the state of Florida, and they're going to love surfing. Then what's going to happen is you're going to start getting those people. And you're going to be like, I can't believe you love surfing. Like the market mirrors you. But when you set your intent, this is hard to explain, but when you just decide, these are my clients, this is how much they're going to pay me. Let's say it's 10K, 10,000 US. That's how much I'm going to demand or command for what it is that I do. And I know that my 10K program is worth way more than that. And it's going to change lives. And you have your intent. And you set that intent firmly. Then you get it. It just starts to come. Like it starts to fall in your lap. You start to magnetically attract that, and you become the hunted instead of the hunter. And your market mirrors you. You know, like you want to attract abundant people, then be abundant thinking yourself. You want to attract happy and positive people, then be happy and positive yourself. Don't be angry or toxic yourself, or you're going to attract angry, toxic people. Don't be desperate, or you're going to attract desperate people, right? Don't be broke-minded, or you're going to get broke-minded people. You know, you could be broke. Broke is a temporary economic condition. Poverty is a state of mind. You don't want to be poor. You don't want to be poor. It's okay to be broke. Everyone's broke from time to time. But you want to have positive energy about yourself, even if you are broke, because it's just temporary. You're going to get out of that, right? So the market mirrors you. Be an attractive person, you'll attract positive people, okay? Be an abundant thinking person, and you'll attract abundant people. Abundant people tend to have the money to invest in you. So if you raise your life force and you keep it raised as much as possible for as long as possible, like daily, they're going to hunt you down. I had to chase Eric down to give him my credit card. Like, this is a true story. In the workshop, I had a guy sitting in the front row. He wanted the microphone. He was like, Eric wouldn't take my credit card. I had to chase him down. I actually thought that maybe I didn't pass or wasn't accepted into the program, or that he didn't like me. It was like, no, I was just really busy, and we were putting together the workshop, and I hadn't had time to run your credit card yet. But ultimately, he felt like, because of the way the system was set up, that he didn't qualify. So first, I need to ask you a few questions to see if you qualify. That's one of the first things I say to anyone that I'm talking to that wants to become a client of mine. Let me ask you a few questions to see if you qualify, because it's true. And I'll tell you, one of the big things I'm looking for is just their attitude. If they're angry and toxic and difficult and, you know, just toxic, then that's the people that don't qualify, because I don't want to, you know, deal with that, right? Now, but when I ask someone, you know, hey, real quick, though, let me ask you a few questions just to see if you qualify. What that does is it immediately takes me from being the one being interviewed to they're the ones being interviewed, right? I'm the interviewer, and they're the interviewee. They're the applicant now. So in other words, even let's say my price is $25,000, and someone's on the phone with me. And I'm like, let me ask you a few questions to make sure you qualify. Okay. And that's for asking them questions. I'm interviewing them to see if they qualify to be a client of mine. So right then and there, I flip the script on them. They're not interviewing me on whether I'm worthy to give the money to. I'm interviewing them to see if they're worthy of me allowing them to give me the money. Okay. And that came from just on purpose trying to filter out negative, toxic, crazy people that I didn't want to do business with, more because I'm susceptible to that because I grew up poor, and, you know, I don't want to go that direction. It's real easy for me to, you know, be affected by people who have stinking thinking. So I try to shield myself from that. No offense to them. I'm just not the guy to change that for them. I'm the guy to help them make a bunch of cash. Okay. So I'm the interviewer and they are the applicant. So I got the cheese, and let me explain that to you. Mice will chew through a brick wall to get to the cheese, right? Mice will, I mean, it's crazy how they can get into things. They will chew through a brick wall to get to the cheese. Well, I got the cheese. So my workshops, for example, people will fly from Singapore, from Australia, from all over the place to come to Austin, Texas to be in my workshop. Why? Because I got the cheese. People will invest in me tons of money because I got the cheese. And what is the cheese? I can help them make a ton of cash as a coach, consultant, expert, influencer, service provider. So I got a cheese. That's what you want. And this is what makes you the hunted versus the hunter, is if you know you got the cheese, which means you got the solution to their problem, and you're putting that out there and you're putting yourself out there in an authentic manner. Some people are going to resonate with you. They know you got the cheese. They will chase you down to give you the money. We get so many clients we don't even talk to. They're just ready to come on board as a client because I've already proven to them I know how to change their lives. And they believe it, and they know it, and they can feel it, and they can sense it, and they know I'm telling the truth. They know I'm authentic, flaws and all, right? So then that's why that happens. That's why it's becoming the hunted instead of the hunter. So one big nasty problem they are completely obsessed with solving is the solution that you provide. For example, people will say, man, I've been trying to get out of my day job for 30 years now, man. Like I've been trying to make money online. I haven't been able to do it for 30 years. Can you actually help me do this? And I'm like, yeah, my system is not on trial here. It works. It's worked for me and many, many others. The system's not on trial. The system works. The question is, do you? The system works. The system's not on trial. The system's proven. The system's not on trial. You're on trial. So if someone shows up saying they haven't been able to do it for 30 years, I'm going to say, after 30 years of trying, it's not the systems, it's you. So let's fix that, right? So I got the cheese. I got the way to get them to making $20,000, $50,000, $60,000 per month, even over $100,000 per month. As a coach, as a consultant, as an influencer, they know it. I know it. We all know I can help them get there. I got the cheese. That's why I'm the hunted instead of the hunter. I'm just putting the cheese in front of them. Do you want it? Then let's get together and let's get you making that money. So this is how you go about becoming the hunted instead of the hunter. And what I shared with you today can absolutely change your life. If you need to watch this again, watch it again. Watch it a bunch of times. Get it to sink into your subconscious mind. Because in the end, this is where the cash really comes from. So let's take you, for example. Do you want to get $20,000 to $60,000 per month or more, even over $100,000 per month coming in? Then I got the system, and I got the proof, and I got the way to get you there. So fill out the form below this video. Reach out to me. Let's engage back and forth. Let's network. Let's connect through text or email or phone even. And let's get you all the details and all the information so you can come on board. And if you come on board, I will get you to this income guaranteed. Fill out the form. This is Eric Louviere. Thank you so much. Take the leap of faith. Fill out the form, and I look forward to interacting with you. Thanks a lot.